Hi, welcome back to Accordion's Anaplan Model Minute series. My name is John Woodall here at Accordion. On the previous Model Minute, we built up a revenue forecast in Anaplan. Today, we'll look at quota capacity planning, so how finance and sales teams can work together to make sure the right resources are in place to meet revenue targets. And we'll leverage Anaplan's AI agent to help us do that. So the challenge that companies face is that finance sets the revenue targets, sales ops sets the sales quotas, but then sales reps leave either voluntarily or involuntarily, creating a capacity gap in how sales teams are going to be able to meet those revenue targets. So more specifically in Anaplan, we'll look at a sales capacity report that's going to pull from the finance and sales models respectively, to make sure we're meeting those targets and that the teams are looking at the same set of data. We'll leverage Anaplan's AI agent to help us make sure we're looking at the right parts of the model. And then we'll dive deeper into how we can adjust our sales rep plans and drivers to help us meet that capacity. Lastly, we'll look at workflow and how we can leverage that to facilitate the planning process. So we'll go ahead and jump into our Anaplan model. And the first thing we'll look at is our quota capacity summary. So in here, we're pulling our bookings target from our finance model. We're pulling our quota target from our sales ops model, which includes some overassignment on those booking targets. And then we're looking at, what are the impacts of attrition or new hires, either, planned or unplanned throughout the year. And so, we get to our quota budget, including that net turnover impacts. We're applying quota attainment drivers to our sales reps. To essentially figure out, what is our attainment gap? Are we going to be able to meet those revenue targets? Or do I need to hire sales reps at any, point in the year, and, factor in ramp times accordingly? So I can leverage Anaplan's AI analysts to help us focus on the right parts of the model. You can see we have some prompts that you can set up as you're rolling out your model. You can also kind of ask whatever question you want. So here I'll just ask which territories have the highest attainment gap. We'll say in FY26. And so when you type in that prompt, the model is going to analyze your reports, your source data, and come up with which territories we need to focus on. So you can see here, it's telling me that North 1 territory has the largest attainment gap, followed by South 1 and then North 2. We can also show that in a chart format, just to easily visualize, where we need to focus. So I can see here, North 1 has the biggest attainment gap, so that's where we'll focus. We can also assign tasks directly from there. So if I want to say, review capacity gap, please review, and then I can select the person that I want to review that. You can set a specific deadline for that, or no due date. I can go ahead and create that task. So that will send that user an email and also prompt them within the model. And so from there, we know I'm looking at North 1 territory, and we can see that in Q4, based on some trits, that we are one headcount short of being able to meet our expected capacity. And so I can jump over to our sales quota capacity planning, and on here I can then plan more at a rep level. I can see when reps are attriting. I can see how TBHs are expected to ramp up. And here, as the planner, I can see that I have a gap for Q4. And so I could come in here and add another TBH. Let's call this TBH2AE. I can assign them a role, so this will be a field sales rep. I'll give them a start date of, we'll just say October. It'll be North Division, North 1 territory. And so it'll show me that that new hire. I can also go back to North 1 and see everything, or all of my sales reps, and see that that headcount gap is now filled. There's also some other levers that I can pull. So if I clear that start date, and we just assume that we're not hiring that rep yet, if I go to my sales quota capacity assumptions, there's also some drivers where by territory and by role, we can set the quota capacity and the quota attainment percent. We can also adjust, the ramp assumptions. So, if I think certain roles might ramp faster, maybe there's a new AI tool that will help reps ramp faster. Just as an example, I could also change the expected quota capacity. That may have cost impacts, but at least then we can see here, what the impact would be to meeting our quota capacity. So yeah, I'll just leave that there. So then if we go back to our quota capacity summary, we can see now that after making those adjustments, we expect that we should be good for Q4 to meet our quota targets. We can also leverage workflow to help facilitate this process each forecast cycle. So if I go to my quota capacity process workflow, so here I'm basically assigning by territory different planners for each step of the process, different planners or approvers, and basically we can go through and send emails, require approvals for each step of that process. So as that process is completed, this would be updated automatically. The planners, when it's their time to plan or approve, they'll get an email notification, or they'll also get a notification within the app to complete that part of the process. So you can see here for this task, I got a notification, and I'm going in and completing that task. So once I'm good to go, I could say complete, add in any notes that are necessary. I'll see my other task here. And then the next person in the plan will have to either reject or approve. You can see here it went to the next person, which for purposes of the demo is me. So I'll go ahead and approve that. And then that will complete the process, where it then can go ahead and notify the stakeholders that the process is complete. So that concludes our quota capacity planning model minute. So in summary, we looked at our sales capacity report to identify any gaps in sales capacity. We leveraged one of Anaplan's AI agents to help us identify key areas to look at. Then we took action and adjusted drivers and plan hires to help us meet that capacity. And lastly, we leverage workflow to help us complete the process. Please feel free to reach out if you have any questions, and stay tuned for our next Model Minute. Thank you.